Yo, Crypto Nation, what's going on, everybody? Certainly, as you're sliding on in here, smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. We know how the YouTubers love it over here, so let's give it to them. Let's go ahead and dive into today's article, which I've got an old background up here. This is an old Ethereum mine, dude. I'm not kidding you. For any of you people who are just getting into crypto and a little bit of mining here and there, and you stumble across my channel, thank you. At the same time, yes, Ethereum used to be mineable. I know it's wild. And behind me are servers that contain 6 to 8 GPUs apiece. There are thousands of GPUs in this photo. Thousands. When people are like, oh, you damned miners are taking all the GPUs. It wasn't us home miners that were doing it. I swear, I don't have this kind of purchasing power. I wish I did, but I don't. But talking about that Ethereum and Ethereum mining, you can guess what today's topic is going to be. We're talking about Ethereum. And basically the lies that they spread to everybody to screw over the miners to go to proof of stake. Now, I'm not going to be delusional and think that they were not wanting to be proof of stake to begin with. You know, Vitalik Buterin had always talked about being proof of stake. I'm okay with this. Literally, I am okay with this. I encourage you. You said something, you followed through. My only complaint during that follow-through period was at the very end when they changed the fee structure for the gas, where people were counting on X amount of gas fee to come to them. They screwed over the miner basically to, I'm not going to say totally enrich themselves, but to make it cheap, because like right towards the end, it went like, it was like like a feeding frenzy. It was like sitting there and being in the middle of a shark pit and throwing some meat in there and seeing the feeding frenzy. And that was the gas fees going out of control. Me as a miner, I absolutely love this. But that was only during a small period of time. It wasn't the standard. You know, it ebbed and flowed. And that was like a small period. It was the best mining I'd ever seen. And it never came back to that level ever again. Fine. And Ethereum decided to screw over the miners and go to proof of stake, selling everybody that you will have a way to be able to get your transaction processed. It'll be fast, it'll be flawless, and we will lower your gas fee in the process of it all, and being able to do everything we were doing before with everything being cheaper. Cool. Good luck with that. And here it is. I'm vindicated with what I have said. Absolutely vindicated. Good luck with that. You want to know why? Because let's just get into some of the headlines here, right? Ethereum raises gas limit for the first time since 2021, boosting ETH with Peel. That's a lie. Altcoin buzz. Ethereum increases gas limit to boost scalability. That also is a lie from Web3 marketers. Why do I say Web3 marketers? Here we go. All right, here, and let's go down to the writer of this article, Mr. Victor here, Web3 marketer. He said it right there. We come down to the CoinDesk, which I would expect CoinDesk to do better, because they're supposed to be neutral ground reporting, truths, not this like crap that they're putting out. And their writer, right down here, co-leader of the CoinDesk tokens and data team in Asia. Crypto derivatives, DeFi, market microstructure. So he watches market movements, protocol analysis. So he's a data analysis guy, And because he has over $1,000 in crypto, but less than $2,000, he's now an expert to be writing articles for CoinDesk. Um, CoinDesk, I'm a crypto miner here, and I've been in it since 2018. You can hire me. I will write better articles that are not misleading like this. This is absolute misleading trash that you're trying to make people read here. So let's just go right into this first little catch of a statement here. This change was implemented after more than half the validators supported the adjustment, which was enacted automatically without the need of a hard fork. What does that mean? It means the people that are basically the new miners, the validators, the proof of stake people, which are the validators, just voted for a pay raise and got it without anybody knowing about it or voting on it. Your vote does not matter to Ethereum. They gave more money to the validators, which they were saying, which was us dirty miners. We were the cause of high gas fees. Fun fact: you want to know why? You want to know why Mr. Victor here with altcoin buzz? Why Mr. Victor goes, Ethereum increases gas limit to boost scalability. You want to know why this is such a disingenuous lie? Because the scalability was always there. Ethereum hasn't been filling blocks, period. Why haven't they been filling blocks? Because once the gas fee limitation on that block has been reached, the validators will not put any more transactions into said block. Let that sink in, guys. The validators will not validate any transactions over the max cap. So once they hit that max cap, your transaction gets pushed off to the side because it has a max cap. When they say that they're increasing gas limits, it's on the block. That's what they're trying to boost scalability on, because the validators will not fill a block up. It's funny that that's what they're trying to do, but they're being disingenuous and not telling you that. They need to increase scalability to pay for what? That's right, security. This validators are the security system. The security system says, well, if you want a bigger security and you want a bigger block, you want a more of a fuller block, then you need to pay for the infrastructure needed in order to validate said block. Now, what are the validators really doing? They're not really doing much. They've got Amazon Web Service being set up, hosting their node. That is literally what's going on here. So we got a pinpoint vector going between Amazon Web Service, Microsoft hosting service, Hetzner in Germany, and I think of a handful of other smaller server farms that are hosting the entire Ethereum network, and the majority of it is on Amazon Web Service. Let that sink in. It's majority of it's on Amazon Web Service. Ethereum trusts in Amazon Web Service as their pinpoint largest failure if it goes down. I'm not saying that Amazon's going to have an issue tomorrow, but it's a huge risk evaluation. Now, certainly you can argue on the other side that, the risk evaluation is not there. So it's not an issue. Sure, roll that dice. That's on you, right? Yeah. But to sit there and start increasing the gas maximum capacity for the transaction in each block, which is what he's talking about right here. It's like, it's his aim to adjustment boost the Ethereum transaction capacity and network, right? That's what it's really there for. is that they're trying to increase the transaction capacity and network performance. It's not and the network performance is so disingenuous. It means that I'm going to add in more validators and you need to pay more for this. That is what's going on here. I'm going to allocate capital. You're going to pay more for this capital to increase the network's performance. And in order to increase performance, I need more validators. And if I've got more validators, there is more competition for each transaction, and there's only so many transactions that can happen per second. So now we have the same situation that's going to happen with the GPU mining and the ASIC mining, where they're going to start blaming the validators of being greedy. Why? Because that's how communism works. And that's exactly what they implemented on us GPU miners. They blamed us for them willing to pay for higher transaction fees to be in the block right this second. They weren't willing to wait for the network to be uncongested. And they got mad that they couldn't do what they wanted to do because it scaled so hard, so fast, and the fees shot up because they were willing to pay anything to get into the next block, that they took away that ability. That also took away a lot of the core user base out of the system. So they haven't filled up a block. They want more on there. They've got to sit there and allow the blocks to increase and not the payment for each block to be increased in size. Because if I've got a transaction that's only paying $3, they're not incentivized to put me into that transaction if the block is almost full and they can get a $5 transaction in instead of me. So that's basically what it is. And if they hit, let's say the cap is 2 Ethereum. Let's say I don't know what the cap is right now. Let's say it's 2 Ethereum, and they've got $3 worth of room in there. I might get in on that transaction right now. But if they've got one person that is trying to front run, they can pay the 2 gas fee, I think, at this point, and get in on a block by themselves. But that block will never be full. I'm not sure exactly if you could still bet for getting into the next block by paying a higher fee. I don't know if Ethereum ever, because like once they were going to proof of stake, I got out of it. And so I'm not sure if you're able to still pay an extra gas fee to make sure you're in the block to be validated in. But them adding in a higher fee means that they will put more transactions into those empty blocks. That's basically how this one's going to really work out to be. Because like the validators have been playing some of the uncle rewards that us miners were getting, because you would get your normal block reward and an uncle, and you would get some pretty good rewards. It was very lucrative for us GPU miners back in the day. But now the validators are in the same position as us GPU guys, and we've got a lot of capital wrapped up into this, and we want to see we have an expected rate of return on our investment. Otherwise, we want our investment back and to be able to move on from that. It's like I'm investing into something. I want either services, products, goods, or I want a reasonable rate of return on what I think my capital's worth to me, right? So that's what we're going to be seeing here. And it's hilarious that they're going down this road and trying to sell that this is anything more than the validators want more money. And that that the people need to pay for the service that they are rendering, which is scalability because they will process more transactions in the block. That would be a better title to this, would be Ethereum increases gas limit to boost more transactions in each empty block or in each available block, because they haven't changed anything with scalability. Nothing. The blocks are the same. Nothing has changed. This is so disingenuous at best. And the one thing that is probably the most honest thing here, BlackRock and Fidelity fueled $307 million of Ethereum to the ETF inflow. Between these two companies, they helped the ETF inflow for Ethereum actually close its bell green, because they bought that much. That is a substantial amount of Bitcoin. Of Ethereum. So the amount, which total of 111,250 Ethereum, at the current price that they were at was at $2,759. I guarantee you that the transactions that went through these miners, these validators, they're pissed off because it went through in one transaction and they got capped the fuck off. Who wants to bet me otherwise? That they saw this gigantic push of a lot of coin coming through in a single transaction, or maybe a couple of transactions, right? And the miners going, what the fuck? We didn't get any of the Ethereum out of there. We didn't get paid enough to validate that kind of money. How much you want to bet that is the core reason that Ethereum raises gas limit for the first time? This change was implemented after more than half of the validators supported the adjustment, which was enacted automatically without the need of a fork or any of the users' permission. The users woke up and went, bam, I'm paying more. I thought I was capped. I thought I could only put so much in per transaction. You know, it's like I shouldn't have to put the maximum GUI into my transaction in order to get it processed. It should not be maximum GUI every single time. I should be able to put my GUI at half and get my transaction done within an hour. But that's not how it works with Ethereum these days. Not how it works. You now pay more. You get nothing extra out of the deal, but you pay more. Your transactions might be a little faster because they're not limiting so many transactions per block, but nothing's different with the scalability. I think this is, like I said, I think a lot of this has to do with the 111,000 ETH that came through. How many transactions did it take to come through all the way? If it was one transaction between, the two of them, so half and half went through. They got 2 blocks at a maximum of, whatever the amount of Ethereum they're allowed to get. Oh, they're pissed. They are so pissed off. They're like, I got all this fucking money wrapped up in here and I'm not getting compensated properly. I guarantee you that's what this is all about. They went, oh wow, I just got ripped off. I have, what is it? I think it, what was it? 32 Ethereum in order to have a validator node. 32 Ethereum. So 32 Ethereum, let's say, times. I know some of these people, they got Ethereum, a validator Ethereum amounts during the all-time high. So we'll say $4,000 So $128,000 a validator node. $128,000. I mean, imagine having a Bitcoin mine that was $128,000 mining facility. What kind of a mine do you think you would have at this point? Exactly. And they're asking for a pay raise over there. I don't blame them. I guess I'm more disappointed on the idea that they sold the prospect that the high gas fees were because of us dirty miners. It was all of our fault that we were forcing the higher fee. And it was more or less that they were paying the right amount for the amount of transaction speed with the security that they were provided. And here they're going to go through that same learning curve again. And it's like, and you get all these champions of Ethereum sitting there rooting this one on, talking about how this is so good and positive, not letting people know this is going to increase your gas fee. It's also going to increase the amount of gas fee per block, which is going to incentivize the miners to be, the validators to be putting more transactions into each available block. Not that there's any more or any bigger, anything like that. So, with that being stated, what's your guys' thoughts on this? I think that they need CoinDesk and Altcoin Buzz need to be less disingenuous to the readers and put proper headlines down that Ethereum increase gas limit to incentivize validators to fill available blocks more efficiently because they did nothing else. Or CoinDesk going, Ethereum raises gas limits for the first time since 2021. Bam, that's the rest. That's all the headline they need. In saying that this is championed after more than half of the validators, which are the network support, voted for a pay raise, they could sit there and state something of that fact, that these people were basically voting for a pay raise. Something that they stated that the mining community were the issue of. This was all of our fault. Here you got them voting for it and getting it. This is now their fault, right? The shoe fits, right? I mean, you're going to blame us miners for it, then we get to blame the validators for the same thing. So now we got the dirty validators with us dirty miners. So they're no different than us. This proves it. Us miners have been vindicated. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. With all that good stuff, smash that lizard like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification. And like always, peace out, stay savage. May your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one. Yo.